Chad, what's that song? Bro. Damn.
Y'all ever sit down to do a video and halfway through you realize you're just not happy with anything you've said thus far, so you delete the last 3 minutes and then jump right back into it, knowing damn well you don't script your shit, so the thoughts are gonna be the same? Well, yeah, me too, girl. Okay, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I do it. I do it, and I'll admit I do it. You're not supposed to put everybody in a box just because there are bad eggs in the carton, right? So, say you have a carton of eggs. There's a few bad eggs in that carton. You're not supposed to put every bad egg in the carton, right? Like, out of the carton into this box. You're supposed to leave the good ones and not put them in a box. But I can't help but put them in a box whenever I see so much shit occurring. And it's like the same story over and over again, just a different individual saying it. And that is quite literally what's going on when it comes down to live streaming incidents with people texting and driving. I feel like it happens so fucking often, and it's always a different streamer. We have had repeat offenders, but nothing done. Like, no consequences have really ever been done to these people. Like, you were texting and driving on a freeway going 70 miles per hour and almost unalived an entire family in the vehicle in front of you because you T-boned them checking your chat. What was done about it? Potentially a ban for 12 hours for Twitch, but I don't even see that really happening. What happened was IShowSpeed now is another streamer who we can put in this category of texting and driving incidents while live streaming. IShowSpeed is a very influential streamer. I really don't feel like I need to give it any type of introduction for him. I feel like the majority of people knows who the fuck he is. If they don't know who he is, they've heard of his name. They understand he does a live streaming content. It is what it is. So, that's Speed, right? Very influential. This man was on a live stream, texting and driving, and was looking at his phone for over 9 seconds in a 16-second clip that was uploaded from this incident taking place. What happened was he was looking at his phone, asking his chat for the name of a song when he rear-ended another vehicle that was in front of him. Here's the situation. Now, instead of taking accountability and being like, oh, I should not be texting and driving, this is what happens, you guys, if you do text and drive, he decided to kind of blame it on the other driver, the driver in front of him, and say, well, I am a professional driver, so this clearly isn't my fault here. Even though, you know, I was the one texting and driving, it's not my fault because I'm a professional. I can professionally text and drive. Now, he didn't say he was a professional texter and driver, but he was insinuating he's a professional driver, so whatever he does behind the wheel is fine because he's good at driving, so, like, we should just trust him. And it's really upsetting to me to see somebody as influential as Speed getting into an incident like this on a live stream where millions of people are going to see it, and then blaming the other driver when clearly he's in the wrong for being on his phone. And it bothers me for a lot. Really quick, let's just take a look at the clip because I have so much shit to talk.
What's that song called?
You gonna change your pants?
My chat telling me to change. But I'm cool, bro. I don't need to change nothing, bro. Chad, what's that song? Bro.
Damn!
What the fuck are they doing, bro? What is he doing? What the hell? Bro, that's not my fault, bro.
I know it's not.
The hell is... What is he doing?
Now, I don't know if you were looking at the clip, but I was, and he was not glancing at his phone. He was quite literally active on his phone the entire time. He was looking at his phone, he was engaged in his phone. Not just was he engaged, but his passenger was engaged, which, yeah, I understand the passenger is not driving, not really responsible for the vehicle, but isn't it great to be aware of your surroundings? So Speed was on his phone, passenger was on the phone, they were both potentially checking chat. Speed was asking chat for the name of a song, and then he rear-ended somebody in front of him. We don't have the POV from in front of the vehicle, so I don't know if this car came to a sudden stop or not, but let's be honest, it's traffic. Sometimes you need to come to sudden stops, and sometimes there's nobody's real fault for that. It just kind of is what it is. You have to stop suddenly for other vehicles or people walking in the street in front of you. It is what it is. It happens. But that's why you can't or shouldn't be on your phone while you're driving, because you need to be aware of these minor changes around you when you're in a fucking vehicle. And for Speed to say, well, it's not my fault. Bro, what is he doing? What is he doing? And that's such a genuine question because he does not know what happened. He doesn't know what the driver was doing because he wasn't paying attention to what the driver was doing. He was on his phone. Now, y'all know I'm not good at explaining things, but let me try my best here to where y'all can understand what I'm trying to say. And I hope y'all get it. But let's say, for instance, that this driver in front of him was truly the one who was fully in the wrong. Say the driver in front of him really is out here doing dumb shit and causing accidents. We wouldn't know. We would never know because, one, he doesn't have that POV. He's only filming himself. And we only know what we see, which is Speed on his phone, not paying attention to what the driver's doing in front of him. So even if it was the driver's fault in front of him, Speed still doesn't know what the dumb shit he was doing was because he wasn't paying attention. He was on his phone. Does that make sense? So even if it was the driver's fault in front of him, Speed is still at fault here too for breaking the laws of the road and being on his phone while driving and not being able to properly say what the driver did that was wrong because he wasn't paying attention. He doesn't know what caused the accident. He just knows he was on his phone and rear-ended somebody.
Bro, I can't. Where's he driving to, bro? God, bro, yo, Jamal, can you play that,
Hold up, I got you.
Damn, bro. Yo, bro, everybody in the car, put their seatbelt on, okay? Put their seatbelt on because shit's about to get down. You know why?
Not only was he texting and driving, but he was texting and driving without a seatbelt. My brother in Christ, why? And why fucking why? Do you have to say everybody in this vehicle put on a seatbelt? Do you know why? You don't need to know why to put on your seatbelt. You don't need a reason to put on your seatbelt other than the fact that it's there for safety. It's there for safety. Yes, it is. It's there for safety. And you shouldn't have to give a reason to people in your vehicle to put on a seatbelt. That should be, as soon as you get in the vehicle, just put on your seat, put up your phones, call it that, drive, get to where you're going safely. This is such a stupid incident that could have been avoided. And I want to be so clear, this happens all the time. All the time. Every week, there is quite literally another August the Duck video where he is talking about another streamer who has gotten into a car accident or hit somebody or ran somebody over on the fucking sidewalk or hit somebody on a bike or ran over a dog because they're on their phone and not paying attention to their surroundings. So to see somebody as influential as Speed out here doing the same stupidity and moronic shit is actually just, what are we doing? I'm not a fan of IShowSpeed, but I'm not gonna lie, there's been moments where I've come across like a short video of him doing something nice for somebody and I've smiled at it, you know? There's been moments I've smiled at things that he's done. But I don't know him enough to be a fan or to not be a fan of him. He's just another streamer on the internet. But I'm very upset by what he's done, and here's why. Because out of all the streamers, when you think about the most influential streamers, you think of Kai Cenat, you think of IShowSpeed. And while they're not influential to us in ways that we should be getting influenced by them. But I know for a fact that there are younger kids that look up to these gentlemen, and there are other streamers who envy the platforms that they have and want to achieve the amount of success that they've had in their careers. So if you would have a streamer like IShowSpeed or Kai Cenat coming out and setting certain standards and expectations when it comes to streaming, such as the safety of the individuals around you, especially if you're in a motor vehicle, that would be huge for the streaming community. That would be huge for the younger generations to see that this is not cool, no matter how many times you've seen it being presented and represented in videos and in content, and specifically in live streams. Even if they would just say it in a few clips, it would still set a movement, in my opinion. I feel like they were so influential that if they really could like change the standards whenever it comes down to streaming and what's socially acceptable in streaming. And specifically when it comes down to laws being broken in stream, they're so successful that they could show, hey, you can get to this level of success without doing degenerate shit. Now, you could argue that these people do degenerate shit on their streams. I've seen it in the past as well, but it's one thing to be just, you know, them, and it's another thing to be breaking the law and, in a sense, promoting it. And while he's not actively out here telling people to text and drive, by him texting and driving and then claiming to be a professional driver, and blaming the car in front of him for their stupidity and them coming to a sudden stop, it's just a little bit bizarre that he's not taking any accountability or any part of this blame when he was in the wrong too. He was texting and driving, and it doesn't matter how good you are at driving, you are not a professional at texting and driving.
It's about to be showing speed. And guys, we do this all professionally. I have been driving I got my license at 16 years old. So it's been around 17, 18, 19, 5 years. It's been around, left or right? Left.
Left.
It's been around 5 years since I've been a professional car driver.
I sincerely can't tell if he's joking or not. Like, I really want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think he's being serious. The idea that once you get your license at 16 years old, that is when you start your professional driving journey is something. You know, because the big thing here, obviously, is that he almost hit somebody, and we keep seeing this shit every single fucking week. But I mean, I could go through this stream and find dozens of examples of him continuing to text and drive. I mean, as the footage plays in the background, you will see him getting on his phone constantly. I mean, looking at his phone for multiple seconds. It's bad. And I just can't understand what the holdup is. You know, this just seems, and I'm going to keep saying this until they either tell me, hey, August, this is Twitch, this is YouTube, shut the fuck up, we're not doing anything, or a change is implemented, because I truly cannot understand why YouTube, why Twitch, why these sites that are supposed to be reputable, supposed to care about safety, supposed to care about community, cannot just be like, hey guys, you can't drive and live stream anymore. I mean, at least indulge me and be like, you can't text and drive and live stream anymore. I mean, that one seems kind of like a fucking no-brainer. Like, there is truthfully no excuse for allowing this shit onto your website, and there's no reasonable explanation other than corporate greed. Other than these streamers making these platforms far too much money for them to ever tell them what they can and cannot do.
And this is also one thing I'm struggling to wrap my head around. This is a huge incident this occurs so often. That's why it's such a big problem for streaming. There's so many people who text and drive and break the law while actively streaming. And it would take 2 seconds for anybody at Twitch who literally works for Twitch to post publicly, no more doing this, because this is actively breaking the law, and we care about our community and we care about the safety of our community and the viewers. We don't want people to look at this behavior and think that it's acceptable, so what we're going to do is crack down on it. No more texting and driving, because clearly that's against the law, and we don't want to platform people who are actively breaking the law and using that for content. And while his full content wasn't just him texting and driving, he was still breaking the law while texting and driving in his content, and that's all they need to do is say this is no longer acceptable in the slightest bit to be passed off in content, so no more doing it, or you will be terminated, or you will be banned. But they'll never do that, because if they actually do crack down on streamers for doing this shit, they're going to be losing money, especially whenever it comes down to large, very large streamers like Speed. If they would do anything to his account or ban him or suspend him, they're going to be losing a large chunk of their profit. And there's still more video we're going to react to, but it just frustrates me so badly, because when I see any moment like this where somebody's breaking the law, then it affects somebody, or they get into an accident like this while texting and driving during a live stream, yeah, it's frustrating in the first place, because you're putting people in danger. There are families on the road. There is so much more out there than just your content for the day. And it's very frustrating to see people just disregard human life to the extent where they're just going to text and drive 24/7. Even after people who have accidents while texting and driving get back in the vehicle, then do it again on another live stream, then they're like, whoa, that happened again, that's crazy. People just don't learn. And if you would get somebody as influential as IShowSpeed and Kai Cenat and these other streamers to come forward and be like, don't do these things, I really do feel like that could set a change. That could set a precedent for other streamers to not be pieces of shit.
And it just blows me away. It truthfully does. YouTube will implement the worst changes ever seen. All the bullshit AI age verification, all the bullshit AI moderation, removing the dislike button, removing this, removing that, changing the UI 17 times a month. But for some reason, a reason I will never be able to comprehend, they won't just do a blanket guideline of being like, hey guys, so if something is against the law, don't live stream yourself doing it. Like, I mean, come on, that seems like the most basic of ideas. But these platforms just can't put it together for some reason. Like, what is going on at YouTube and Twitch headquarters? What do the meetings sound like? Oh, no, IShowSpeed was texting and driving while he was live streaming. He committed a crime on camera. We must retaliate, but we can't. All of our techs are busy making it so you have to send in a picture of your birth certificate to watch Mr. Beast's latest video. Oh, I wish we could do something, but we can't. If only the AI could figure it out for us. Like, seriously, what is happening? Like, either the people in charge of these platforms are generationally stupid, or they just don't care because they're making too much money. I know the answer. I'm just trying trying to make it seem less bleak, because unfortunately it's starting to seem like this change is going to have to happen at the streamer level, and my god, that's a pipe dream. But really, that sort of thing is another reason as to why I said this is so especially disappointing, because I think Speed is a good guy. Everything I've seen about him has been positive. I'm always seeing how he's doing shit for his community, how he's setting a good example, how he's doing good shit. So when this happened, it just sort of seemed out of character, at least like from what I've seen from Speed, and I just wish he would have been like, oh shit, you know what, that's on me. I shouldn't be texting and driving, and I truly think that would have made a difference.
You guys, honestly, this is just another video being made of hundreds of thousands of videos that's been made in the past from other creators, of course, talking about live streamers doing stupid shit while live streaming, breaking the law while live streaming, especially texting and driving while on a live stream. And, you know, August said it the best. It's a pipe dream to think that these streamers are going to step up and take the action that's needed here to stop this from being done, because the companies don't care about it. They're not doing anything about it. They continuously allow this to happen. They will make a statement and say, hey, this wasn't good. Sorry that this happened, and then allow it to continue happening. It just is what it is, and it's so unfortunate, but I feel like if companies really are at this point going to change, it's going to have to be the influencers that are stepping up to make these changes happen. And it's such a pipe dream, like he said, to, you know, expect streamers to do this, but it's honestly so unfortunate, because IShowSpeed, I feel like if he would have spoken out about this like properly and not blamed the driver in front of him for him texting and driving, it would have you know, set a precedent. And if he would have explained how texting and driving is not good, because look what could happen. He even said, I'm a professional driver, but I got into a car crash because I was texting and driving. He didn't say that, but he could have. He could have been like, look, I consider myself a professional driver. I've been driving for years, but this is why it's important to not text and drive, because no matter how good you think that you are, shit can still happen. And didn't even have a seatbelt on too, if that. It's just crazy. I think this is insane. And I am disappointed by how he handled it. I feel like I said, if he would have just handled it better, we could have seen some changes. We could have seen a movement of other live streamers being like, fuck texting and driving, just trying to be better in their content. But it is what it is, and if we want to see these changes happen, we're just, unfortunately, at this point, going to have to wait for wholesome live streamers who, you know, want that to happen as well, and fight for these changes that realistically will never happen. But it's a dream. A girl can dream. It is what it is. I want to know what you guys think. I think that this was very irresponsible of Speed, especially considering how influential that he actually is. Those are just my thoughts and opinions. It is what it is. I am very tired of singing the same song and dance every time I come into a YouTube video talking about how stupid something is and how, you know, I wish for changes, and then, you know, a week later talking about it again, like, I wish for changes. And, you know, that's the real burnout when it comes to content creation. I'm disappointed in Speed. Like I said, I don't really know much about him. I don't frequent his live streams, but I only know the clips that I've seen, you know, that have been viral of him. And he does seem like a very nice gentleman. It's just unfortunate that this is how he's handling himself, because it's just fuck me, right? But anyways, I want to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and goodbye.